Hi, it's time for another 720p video. She's just fallen asleep and I'm taking basically the only time I have these days, these weeks to do something and talk about something. I want to talk about 5G. So what is it? It's faster and more efficient than 4G. We know that. It works on a higher frequency. However, it's weaker. That means it needs to have more antennas, which means more antennas will be put around the city, because while it's stronger, it's also much more sensitive to even rain and trees and walls than 4G. So they need to put up those antennas, which they have made much stronger and much smaller, so you won't be able to recognize them as easily as you do with the 4G and 3G and so on.
For example, in 4G, what you would have had before is big masts quite a long distance apart.
Covering a large area.
Whereas with 5G, particularly in urban areas like this, you'll need lots of small cells very close together.
And this means we will be exposed to much more radiation. They are kind of smoothing this out by saying 5G is kind of specific. So let's say there's an antenna here somewhere. It's hitting my smartphone directly, compared to 4G, which is more like invasion. I don't know. I still have to see more evidence, more exemplification of that, because that's a good way of putting it. But if it's more sensitive to walls, trees, and even rain, it's kind of hard to think it works like some sort of laser being sort of aiming for your smartphone. Now, 5G is something that I've been keeping an eye on. I know it probably will come around on a mass mainstream scale. However, it still hasn't done that. So for a Swedish perspective, I was looking for when will it be implemented here. And there's a city in Sweden up in the north, in the middle of Sweden. Sweden is so tall, called Umeå, the city of Umeå. So they will be the first canary birds to sort of try it out in hospitals, in schools, in universities around the city and so on. And the thing is, I emailed the city of Umeå and their department for health and environment safety, and they answered quite quickly and said that's not their problem. They don't have anything invested in that, and they recommended me to contact a politician, a Green Party politician. And I said, okay, thank you, I will do that. However, I found it very odd that the Department of Health and Environmental Safety has no finger in this decision of implementing 5G in the city of Umeå. So I have emailed some main characters in that project, and it smells kind of fishy because it smells like a political, economical decision and not something that has been actually tried. So my question was very simple. Only one question, basically saying, asking that, so what kind of studies or own research have you done or relied upon for the safety of 5G for this implementation of having 5G in Umeå? And if you have done your own or relied upon studies, can you please share them? So it's a very simple question. I didn't there was no panic attack from my side. I'm just curious. I think things need to have more research done on them, and they often promise, yeah, it's going to be higher and speeds and much better connectivity for the customer. To do what, basically? What are people doing on their smartphones anyway? But there's some honest researchers and workers on that who actually say that 5G is mostly about industry and machine-to-machine communication
So 5G isn't necessarily about getting better signal on your phone or faster data speeds on your phone. It's about machine-to-machine communication.
Basically, connections between cars, self-driving cars, between let's say remote surgical operations, between people who have smart homes, between their refrigerator and some cloud system or something. So it's not that much that the customer will experience for the better or notice any changes. And with that said, areas that implement 5G will have it, and those areas which the investment of 5G doesn't seem to be economically feasible will be left out, which is great. Maybe rural places and some countries who just lag behind. So that was that. I think this is a very interesting topic with all the sort of radiative society we have, and it's everywhere. What does this new 5G technology promise to bring us for the customer, for the individual, for society? And apparently there has never been any studies in Sweden done, nor in many other countries, with either 2G, 3G, 4G connections. And so that's that. Just some thoughts about that. And of course, I'm not against technology nor the development of these technologies, but if they are about to set out a new product in the supermarkets, they do some testing at least. They keep some quality control. But that is never done with these wireless technologies. And so that was that. What are your opinions? I will be keeping more eye on more. I don't have more than 2 eyes, but I will just read upon more on when this is coming, how it is coming. For example, in Sweden, what places will be the first, how the decisions are made. Are they based upon some research and safety and so on? For example, I think it was in Italy, Switzerland and Russia, 5G might not even be implemented because it's way above the minimum levels they have for safety. So yeah, that was that. Take care and all the best. Ciao.